House of the Dragon, the Game of Thrones spin-off that functions on a similar level of cinematic gigantism, is currently on the upward curve. Its first season set up a classic childhood friends who become sworn enemies face-off in the persons of Rhaenyra Targaryen and Alicent Hightower. By the end of the series, it was clear that their personal ding-dong was going to drag their houses, and then the entire Seven Kingdoms into war. Which is great, we like war, it wins Emmys. So come Season 2, war it is. Yet unfortunately, Episode 1 of Season 2 is not the time to fight. Not if you're hoping to make House of the Dragon an epic worth its salt, where salt, in this world of streaming, means at least 40 hours of programming. As such, Episode 1, entitled A Son for a Son, was the very tip of the taper that we know will, one day, burn down to a big fat bomb. Remember the stirring tracking shot that closed out Season 1 of House of the Dragon? As chattering, warmongering men puffed out their chests and shouted for immediate action against the Greens, the usurpers of the Iron Throne, Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, the rejected Queen of Westeros, stood in grave silence, shattered by the knowledge that her plans for diplomacy had only gotten her beloved son killed. In our world, it's been almost 2 years since then. But inside the House of the Dragon universe, brought to us by newly solo showrunner Ryan Condal, only a short time has passed. Prince Jaehaerys Jace Velaryon is in Winterfell to recruit warriors from Lord Cregan Stark. Rhaenyra's husband, Uncle Prince Daemon Targaryen, is raring to incinerate Enormo Dragon Vhagar and Prince Aemon Targaryen, her one-eyed rider. A son for a son. Go off, Daemon, you ruthless weirdo. Tactful Princess Rhaenys Targaryen, though, is telling her cousin to hold up. She's lost children too and knows Rhaenyra requires time to mourn. But soon enough, another tracking shot will reveal what the Black Queen is thinking. And it's not diplomacy, but vengeance. Before anything else, she is compelled to see where Lucerys Luke Velaryon and his dragon Arax spotted. Eyes rimmed in red, Rhaenyra recovers a shred of dragon wing in Luke's tunic from the surf outside Storm's End, the Baratheon stronghold that pledged allegiance to Aemond and the Greens. Syrax, her dragon, looks gorgeous in the bright sunshine, as did Meleys, Rhaenys' mount, back in the cave-bound Tarmac at Dragonstone. It really is wonderful to get 2 of these beasts featured in the early going of House of the Dragon Season 2, and given that war is a food, we're sure to see more of them. Don't obscure these beautiful creatures in the dark. They're right in the name, after all. Rhaenyra returns to Dragonstone, embraces Jace in sorrow, and then gives her a single command. But down at King's Landing, they're preparing for war too. On the castle's battlements, soldiers and dragon killing, giant crossbow-like scorpions stand at the ready. In the royal chambers, newly installed King Aegon Targaryen combines menace with glee as he greets sister wife Aelena Targaryen and takes his young son and heir Jaehaerys with him to the small council. The rats, Helaena murmurs in fear, which the king dismisses. And Alicent Hightower, the Dowager Queen of the Greens, is late to the meeting because she's in her quarters with Sir Criston Cole's head between her legs. At the council, it's clear Aegon considers the possibility of war a lark. Rhaenyra has dragons, his mother reminds him. Minor bigger is his sneering response. The everyday business of being king is also something Aegon must learn on the job. And here's where Otto Hightower, Hand of the King, continues to meddle. Otto would wish to wield his usual powers of persuasion over Aegon too, just as he had with the late King Viserys I. But club-footed Lord Larry Strong, the Master Carnivoran Whisperer, seems to have designs on Otto's position. The Master who sits on the Greens' small council said it, war is inevitable. And Otto believes violence is their only path to victory. But all of the tactical maps and talk of battle plans makes Alicent frustrated. She agreed to conspire with her father to put her son on the Iron Throne. But what is her role going forward? She feels ignored at the council, just like her letters to Rhaenyra. An ally, she tells Otto, would not repeatedly cut my legs from beneath me at that table of men. At the closure of Season 1 of House of the Dragon, it was clear war was coming. Nobody needed to be familiar with Fire and Blood, the George R.R. Martin source material, to have a sense of that. But while Prince Luke's violent death at the hands of Aemond was a motivator, a son for a son takes on a brutal new meaning after Rhaenyra gives her command. Daemon does not ride to King's Landing and blast everybody with dragon breath. He doesn't face down Aemond and, rip out his bejeweled eye or something. Instead, he infiltrates the compound in stealth mode and contracts with a lowly castle ratcatcher and a bruising accomplice fingered by Mysaria, aka the White Worm, to sneak into the palace and kill his son for him. Classic Daemon, but also low down and dirty. By torchlight, these two, known as Blood and Cheese, scuttle through the storm drains. They pass innocently by Aegon and his mates as they go drunk around the Iron Throne, and they make their way to the royal level, where Princess Queen Helena rests with her children. But the brutes can't tell any of the cherubic silver-haired offspring apart, let alone their gender, so the blade to her throat, they force Helena to point. And the horrible sounds we hear as she flees with her daughter to the safety of Alicent's sleeping chamber are only the beginning of the rank violence and vengeance to come in Season 2 of House of the Dragon.